Welcome to the Best Host Podcast. I'm your host, JJ. This is your host, Zack. Merry Thanksgiving to everybody. Sorry we missed last week. I was fucking dead dying with the flu or cold or whatever. It wasn't COVID. Took 2 tests to make sure. One old and one new. Because those things that just like fire within 6 months.
Do they?
Yeah.
I got one here. I'll have to double check that. I mean, yeah. James was just ill with just the disgusting mess that is the NFC West. So.
That too, man. That was, dude, the West is, I don't know what happened this year, man.
On one hand, I kind of like
hangover.
Whatever. I like how it's competitive. You know, it's all 4 teams are 100% in it right now. Like, and dude, no one
Right.
trying to pick who's gonna come out of the West right now is really good luck. Like, someone's gonna have to come play. One of those teams is gonna host a playoff game. That's all we know.
Yeah. You know, unfortunately, this is going to be one of those years where we're the barely over 500 team to
It's going to be the underdog team at home. It's going to be weird. That's going to be the Rams or the Niners or the argument where, like, you know, if like you don't have a good record, like you shouldn't get to host a playoff game. Like,
right?
You know, I just think that it's a combination of the Cardinals being better than anyone expected, myself included.
Right.
Seattle going through.
But wait, are they actually better than what they expected? We kind of picked them to be at 500 towards the end of the year.
I didn't expect that, but they've been real competitive in some games too that they've lost.
Right.
I didn't expect them. I expected them to like luck into some wins and pick up steam as the season went on, but they've been hanging around since week 1. So, you know,
that's very true
for that one. And Seattle is kind of doing a retool on the fly with their coaching staff. And you know, the Niners, everyone's hurt. Like there's a real easy reason for that. Everyone's hurt. Which
well, the Rams began there, everybody was hurt, and then we just ran into the juggernaut of the Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles are really picking up a lot of steam right now. I'm going to say that we're going to see a Philly-Detroit NFC Championship game in Detroit.
I could see that. I could easily see that.
That'll be a great game. Those are going to be 2 fun teams to slug it out. That's going to be awesome.
Right. Dude, these Giants are fucked up majorly giving up Barkley. Like, what the fuck were they thinking, dude? Like, I want to say this for the next 2 years, what he did with the Eagles and his contract and beyond. You fucked up, Giants.
I'm sorry. I think that this is a decision that should get people fired this offseason. To handle this badly, to waste that kind of money on a quarterback you cut and not re-signing. Now, yeah, would Saquon Barkley be doing, like, reverse jump squats over people in a Giants uniform? No. But, you know, Malik Neighbors, you know, has been a nice surprise. Who knows what that could have done with that offense if you have a weapon like Saquon Barkley there.
Right.
I think Neighbors should be fired. I think their GM should be fired. I think there's a couple. They need to really look at the decision making that led to that process inside that building. If I'm John Mara, this is pretty much unforgivable.
Right. And they won't do anything. They're smart enough to not do anything until the offseason.
Yeah.
They already got rid of your QB. You can't get rid of your QB and then your head coach. It's just that'd be a worse decision than what the Jets are doing right now.
No. And if I'm John Mara, again, I'm looking at that stuff that's happening with that other New York team. Let them be the crazy chick in the headlines. Like let them continue to do that. Yeah, man. It's hard. Like everyone talked about, like the trade for Trey Lance to get the picks and then to go for that. Like that should have cost Shanahan and Lynch their jobs. Yeah, but they ended up with a backup plan that has worked out pretty well, with the exception of this year with the injuries. And again, this is year 3, still pretty good. Like they went to the Super Bowl last year, struggling this year. That shouldn't put someone was saying Shanahan should be on the hot seat. No, went to the Super Bowl last year. He gets a year. He's earned himself a year of grace. Same with Lynch. They just got those extensions last year. There's a lot of money wrapped up in it. The knee-jerk reaction like that is, I think, excessive in the case of San Francisco. With the Giants, they made a bunch of bad decisions with no plan B, and here they are. Like it all came to fruition. Right. Their heads need to roll. Heads need to roll in New York, as far as I'm concerned.
And as far as the 49ers are concerned, they're so they're like the Rams. They're so injury riddled, and they lost key components. Like you lost. Well, I just heard what's his name, Mooser. That's middle linebacker. He's been playing on.
Yeah, Fred Warner's been playing on a fractured ankle since week 4. And if you think of the first 4 weeks of the season, Fred Warner was on every highlight film. He was like wrecking shots.
I was wondering what happened to us. Yeah.
It makes sense now. Now it makes sense. And the fact that these are starting to, like, okay, Warner's got a fractured ankle. You didn't have McCaffrey for 8 games, and he's definitely not at 100%. Trent Williams was in the locker room on a scooter today. You can't even put weight on that ankle and knee on that side. The other, Purdy and the shoulder injury. Debo had that hamstring pull that from week 2 that's been lingering all year. You lose Brandon Ayuk. Talanoa Hufanga's been out. Nick Bosa. The other side of that is you've gotten to see some good run out of some of the younger guys, especially on the defensive side of the ball. And that is good moving forward for whenever Robert Saleh or Jeff Ulbrich come in and take over the defense next year, because I think Nick Sorensen has not been as advertised. They went with the outside option in Steve Wilkes last year. Everyone said it didn't work. So we'll promote a guy who's been in the system for a while. Not much better. So I think that maybe bringing back one of the big guns might be the move to do on that. The other side of that is they opened the practice window for Dre Greenlaw today. And I think, I know a lot of people will say, like, there's no reason to play him. Dre Greenlaw needs to get out there and hit some people this year. He will get arrested this offseason. You need to let him get out there and get some run. And I think for any player coming off like a major injury like that, to get to dress and play meaningful games that matter and then go into your normal offseason program is huge from a mental point of view. And so as long as he's looking good in these 21-day window, which I don't think they would have opened it had he not looked like he was ready, it'll be good to see him back out there.
Same thing with the Rams and Higbee. They opened up his practice window now too. That's going to be huge for Rams, because the Rams not having a tight end hurts McVay's system
it's the scheming. That's why you're having to see. You're seeing way too much of Tutu Atwell on the fucking field without a decent tight end out there. It's like
exactly.
And same thing. I think getting to put with the Niners, getting Greenlaw back out there. Ideally, you get Nick Bosa back at some point. That's going to take some of the pressure. The other thing with Fred Warner, besides playing on one leg, is I think he's trying to do too much. He's trying to be everywhere at the same time, and he's ending up out of position for it. That's just. He's Fred Warner. That's what he's trying to do.
I was going to say Fred Warner does that, but a lot of times he's right? For like 70% of the snaps he's right, but those 30% that he's wrong, it hurts the team, right? He's a smart enough guy to know where the ball's going to be.
It is. Well, for one, he's not able to get there, I think, with the speed and the ferocity that he wants to, so he's a half a step behind the play. And he doesn't have his right-hand man out there in Dre Greenlaw picking up, the doing the dirty work behind him. And that's been a huge thing all year long. Like, those two guys were a vicious tandem, and they will be again next year. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't be. But I think that's.
I don't see why not.
Yeah. Right. It's just one of those things where you just see it's just the perfect storm of injuries, lots of postseason runs. I'd explained that to some Vikings fans the other day. Like, this is what happens when your team makes repeated postseason runs: is guys get hurt and guys get beat up because guys play a lot of extra high intensity football. That's a foreign concept for the Vikings fans. They don't. They normally miss a kick in the first round, and their season's over. They're talking about hockey the next day. So I explained that to those guys.
Those rounds 2 and 3, the championship and the final 4 or whatever, dude, those games get hard hitting and they start slugging them out, dude. People start to die.
It's why the first round bye is so huge at that point in the season to get an extra week to rest. It's huge, and I personally didn't like them taking away the second bye for the 2 seed, but
I like it though. I like it because I think the only one who deserves it is the number 1 in the division
or the conference. Yeah, I don't know. I think that it was, from a competitive standpoint, every team needs a break at that point, and so I think if you can be one of the top 2, you've earned one. But they add the other team in and blah blah blah. So we get an extra team gets in the playoffs. Most of the time, the 7 seed shouldn't have been in the playoffs. There's a reason why.
It's still fun to watch. It's still fun to watch. Man.
Get in and let's stir it up a little bit. Let's do some stuff like that.
Wait. Rams were the 7th seed last year, and they made the upset. And then they went and lost to the Lions.
Yeah, who did they beat in the first round last year?
Forget. I'd have to look it up.
Dumbass.
But I know they won, and then they had to go face the Lions, and then they lost.
Yeah, I remember that. It was
2023 playoffs. Where'd it go? No, these are all people's predictions. So fun. Reject all optional shit. Come on, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I can't find it. I'm not looking up that hard. I tried. But I'll go back on the Rams and the Higbee. With Higbee being back, people need to stop worrying about the Rams getting the running back so many chances in the screen outs. Like we've seen the Rams do that plenty of times, and they finally changed up his offense to be lean more towards Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua, which is great. And so we need Higbee out there running those little slants over the middle to really open up the field for Cooper Kupp and Nacua. You can't just keep kicking it out to the flats to the running backs and expect Cooper, Kupp, and Nacua to be open on the deeper flats. So that's a big cry I'm hearing this week is that the Rams aren't using the running backs in the pass game because they don't have a decent tight end to open up the middle, and that's their biggest problem. Did you find the playoff bracket? I can see you was searching hard over there.
It's only showing
like people's playoff.
The loss to Detroit, and we know the Rams didn't win the division.
Right.
Niners had the bye. Let me look at this.
Scores bracket. Wild card. Okay, maybe they were. No, maybe they didn't get a win. They just lost to the Lions.
Oh, you know what? I guess they did. Because, yeah, I'm thinking Tampa Bay came in and almost had a close game as well.
Right. No, that was 32. No, Tampa Bay beat the shit out of the Eagles last year.
No, I meant in the second round when they went to Detroit.
Oh, yeah. Okay. But still, man, the Rams made a fucking good push against those Lions last year. And if Higbee didn't go down then, the Rams might have won that game.
No, they would not have.
Never know, man.
The football gods in Las Vegas would have made sure that Detroit made that run. Detroit is house money this year.
Right. Well, did you see like the all the sports book be like, if we could eliminate one team, it would be the Lions because they're going to win too much money in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If they win the Super Bowl, like the sports books are going to be hurting this year.
Well, it just means they're going to make it back on the NBA Finals or the Final Four or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's how that goes, you know. Which again, I mean, who knows? Maybe there'll be, a phantom call, in the playoffs against Detroit that cost them a game.
Right. That's the way it's looking. That's the way it goes.
Well, it's good that Detroit's beating teams by like 3 scores then, because it gives you a little bit of a cushion for when the officials try to fuck you. So.
That's true. Hey, that's what happens when you got that go for it mentality.
Well, a lot of talent. The talent level helps too. They got great play calling. They got a ridiculous double-headed monster in the running game.
Right.
Yeah. That's
true.
Look, now that the Niners, I mean, people are like, oh, the Niners still mathematically can make a run. Dude, shut them down. No, let's get healthy, extend Brock, finish in 4th place, and take advantage of that 4th place schedule next year and go and win 13 games. Like, again, just take a step back to, kind of recalibrate, make some necessary changes, find a center. Jake Brendel may be the worst center in the NFL. He's so bad.
He's bad this year. Very bad this year.
With the exception of Trent Williams and Dominic Pooney, the rest of that line is average to poor.
Right.
Aaron Banks is pretty good at left guard. Pooney was a great, late round or mid round draft pick. Trent Williams is a Hall of Famer. But at center, dude, that's the play. That's how Purdy got hurt. Dude, Jake Brendel's been holding his block for an average of 1.3 seconds.
Does Williams come back next year though?
Yeah, they extended him and gave him all that money this year.
Okay. I was just curious. I know he's been playing hurt a lot this year, so I don't know. And I know it was a big question mark to play this year. I just think he wanted to miss training camp though.
Well, he did. He wanted to be the highest paid. He wanted to be the highest paid left tackle again. I also don't think that this is not how Trent Williams goes out is this season. Hell no.
Right.
Yeah, the man has got too much pride, so that's why I think he definitely comes back next year. And again, a healthy Trent Williams in camp, like again, I think that the Niners last year was a lot. The drama with this year has been a lot. I think that they're tired. They need a full regular offseason to catch their breaths and get healthy and come back next year because there's still a ton of talent on this roster. There's no
Super Bowl hangover, no joke, man.
And everyone's pretty much under contract. So
yeah, everybody except for Purdy.
Right. And that's a foregone conclusion that he's about to make $50 million a year. So
yeah. We all know the Niners have been setting money aside and making sure that they can do that whole like, oh yeah, we're gonna put it all you're gonna get all one chunk pay, and here you go, you're gonna get it as a signing bonus, and then you're gonna pay $10 million a year.
You do something like that. Yeah, it's fun to watch Parag Marathe manipulate the cap because again, salary cap's a myth. Everyone knows it. James is a Rams fan. He's well aware of how mythical the fucking salary cap is, dude.
The only other team that's better at it is the Saints.
Yeah, but they got themselves into a bad situation with it a couple years ago, though, and they're coming out of the other side of it now. But yeah,
but they're still what last I heard, they're still like $70 million over the cap projection next year or something like that. $50 million.
Nah, dude, not even.
All right, can we go our picks here?
Let's do the picks.
All right. Where is this? Window. All right. First, on the Merry Thanksgiving games, we got the Bears versus the Lions. Lions at home, favored by 9.5. The Bears are coming together, man.
I am. No, I was about to say, like, as goofy as Caleb Williams is, that offense and as a team is just really being super competitive against really good teams, and they're showing out. So I think the Bears cover. Detroit wins.
Okay,
but the Bears cover.
I don't think the Bears cover. I just because it's the Lions, and they're looking to finally put a cap on this Thanksgiving Day fiasco that they've been showing up lately, and they're finally trying to put a fucking dot the I in their Lions.
You mean for most of our lives?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're trying to put out a fucking chess mark here, be like, hey, we're the fucking Lions. You gotta come through us. This is what it's gonna be. Playoff atmosphere, because that stadium gets crazy loud. Especially on Thanksgiving Day. Even though the Lions suck
in Detroit right now, ready for tomorrow.
For that game. Yeah. Exactly. Next up, we got Giants Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 3.5. I mean, they beat the Commanders by 6. So I don't see why they can't beat the Giants by 3.5. Right.
I'm gonna say that the Drew Lock led Giants. It's gonna be like that Monday night game where Drew Lock came in for Geno Smith. Was it last year? 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm going with the Giants.
Okay. Next up, we got the Dolphins going to the frozen tundra, where it's going to be 18 degrees. Last I heard, in Green Bay, but the Dolphins are like 0-9 when the games are below 40. So I think Packers win this. I think Packers are a better team, even though their defense is not as good this year.
The low is going to be 18 on that day. It's going to be right around freezing at game time.
Okay. I'm still going with the Packers -3.
I'm going to go with Miami on this one. Even though we're all sitting around waiting for Tua to get concussed again, they've strung together, wins since he's come back without really involving Tyreek Hill that much.
True. I trust me as a betting
if
man.
They do get him in the mix, if they do get him in the mix somehow, that could be interesting.
Right. And I hope they do this Thanksgiving. I really hope they do. Next up, we got the Friday night game: Raiders versus the Chiefs. Chiefs are favored by 13.
The Raiders shocked the world against them on Christmas Day last year.
Mm-hmm.
13.
You
The
know my
Raiders,
philosophy when it comes to betting on the Chiefs to win on a high spread. I don't bet it on
right?
them. So
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
going Raiders to
the
cover.
Raiders. The Raiders will cover.
Yeah. Next up, I think this is a Saturday game, right? Texans Jaguars. This is the first
No, I
Saturday
don't think.
game.
Let me check here.
I thought we had football all 4 days this week.
So I
I
will
thought
check
there's
right now.
a race of the internet.
No, we don't.
No? Okay. So
Nope.
it's Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay. Then we got Texans, Jaguars. The Texans have not looked all that great ever since they lost a lot of their wide receivers. And even on the defensive side of the ball, they kind of like what was last week versus the Titans. They lost to
Yeah,
the
I
Titans
think
last week.
I put a lot of that. I give Tennessee a lot of credit. They came ready to play in a tough division matchup and to show that they still have some fight. They were playing for pride. I think, but that's going to cause the Texans to come back this week and reestablish their identity and put it on a Jaguars team where Trent Baalke, Doug Peterson you might want to get some boxes for Christmas and start packing up because y'all are fucking gone.
All right. Now, I'm with you on that one. Like, I don't know who the Texans are, but I'm still picking them to win because of C.J. Stroud and Mixon, mainly. So, we'll see against this Jaguars team. Next up, we got the Steelers versus the Bengals. Bengals are favored by 3 for some reason. I don't get why, but I'm taking the Steelers with the points.
I'm going to do the same. I think the Steelers are looking for a big bounce back after that shocker in Cleveland.
Dude, was that snowfall what it was Thursday? Man, I was fucking dying of the cold or the flu. And I was just so thankful that I don't live in a fucking snowy system where I'm having the flu like that. Like, I'd fucking be dead. This California boy cannot handle that cold.
What you do
I live on this beautiful coastline. It doesn't get that cold.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. My opinions on living in Minnesota and Minneapolis during the winter are well documented, and not going to change this year. It's so fucking cold. It's already like in the 20s, and it just sucks. It just fucking sucks. It's hard to do anything. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. We haven't even gotten, where I live at least, we haven't gotten below 45 yet.
Oh, that's great.
Even in the mornings. Yeah, exactly.
Happy for you, James. That's great.
That's what I mean. Like, this is California. I'm on the coast. Like, when it gets below 50, it's cold here. Like, that's when we start to feel like, ooh, I gotta actually put on layers. Where's my thermals at? You know?
Dude, you have no idea how much my wardrobe has changed once I moved to Minneapolis. Like, I have become one of those people where it's like, I gotta put the summer clothes away and then get the winter stuff back out because I don't want to fucking die.
I still gotta come out there and visit you for the Minnesota winter one of these days.
I tell everybody, come during the summer. It's 1,000 times better.
I bet it is. But I'm California. Trust me, my summers are way better than your summers. Still.
I don't know, dude. Like, Minnesota lake life is pretty cool, man. You go and just float on a lake and drink some beers and, float around on a boat. It's pretty chill, actually. So
I bet it is. I mean, I got plenty of lakes around here. I've been to a bunch of lakes out here. My uncle owned a boat, and we used to go up there with him for every summer and chill on the boat. So I totally understand that. Like,
then come in the fucking winter and be like, yeah, this does fucking suck. Zach wasn't lying.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I want to come. Dude, I do go though, we're going fucking lake fishing, whatever it is, ice fishing.
Yeah, as long as the ice is thick enough. Like, it's probably gonna be cold enough this winter. Last winter, it was the talk of the office. Oh man, can't go ice fishing. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to these games here. Chargers Falcons. Chargers are favored by 1, which I think they're going to cover easily. I don't know what the Falcons are, but Chargers look great against Baltimore, even though they didn't win. They've been looking better and better ever since Harbaugh joined them. Each game they get better and better.
They're definitely improving each week, and that was, I think, a good benchmark game for them to see where they stack up against a good veteran team with a multiple-time MVP at quarterback. They lost the loss of J.K. Dobbins, yeah, that slows them down a little bit, but I feel like there's enough weapons on that offense. Again, they hung around till the end of that game.
Right.
So I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do that against a Falcons team that is due for a Falcons loss, where they just show up and it's like, how do we play football again? I don't remember. Oh, that's right. That's right.
And then
everyone only cares about the Bulldogs here, and no one cares about the Atlanta Falcons.
Plus, every time the Falcons play a hard-hitting team, they seem to get stumped. It is just so. That's the way I've seen it, at least this year. Like the big, heavy teams, they lose. Their speed doesn't show up.
Seattle's a perfect example. Seattle beat them up.
Yeah, exactly. So they're a thumper.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Seahawks, next up we got Seahawks versus Jets. Seahawks are favored by 2 points. What on the West Coast, I would love to see them lose because it would just jumble up this fucking playoff bracket even more. But I don't see them losing to the Jets. No. Honestly,
the Jets are they're floating adrift in the ocean right now. I'm here for all of it. Please, can we get some more like? Look, if I've never been fired from a job yet, but if I do get fired from a job, I kind of want someone to fly in on a helicopter and fire me. Like that's
right.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That's how you know how high you are up in the fucking shit. Like I gotta come up and visit you in purpose and land on the field with a fucking helicopter and come fire your ass. You know, when he saw that helicopter, he started packing his bags. Like, all right, I gotta take these documents.
You heard the story. He turned to Jeff Ulbrich and was like, "Oh, hey man, like if I get fired, it's been a pleasure." Like, fully wasn't expecting it. The behind the scenes stuff going on, like I would love. Woody Johnson's got to have like a best friend or like a brother or like a homie. Like I would love to hear those conversations about what he is saying about all of this. Like that is priceless.
It is. It really is. Dude, I'm waiting to see who gets fired next week. Honestly, I feel like every week someone's gonna get fired from the Jets organization.
They're either gonna bench Rodgers or they're gonna fire the dude who got demoted from OC. The guy who coached for most of that season in Denver.
Okay. Yeah.
That guy.
Okay.
Yeah. That's after Seattle beats them, one of those two things is going to happen.
Well, let's see what happens because something's going to happen this week if they get another loss. So.
Oh yeah.
All right. Next up, we got Colts versus Patriots. This is actually, I think this would be a good game to watch. Honestly, if I'm sitting there on Sunday morning, this would be a nice game to watch. It's going to be two teams going at it that are rebuilding, and Patriots already found that magic. I feel like that they found their quarterback. Colts found their quarterback. Now they just got to start building around it.
It's two young quarterbacks and two young coaches who, again, this is an identity game for both of them. I agree. I think that's actually going to be a good one. I really, really like what they're doing with Drake May and what Drake May is doing out there. I really feel like him taking ownership of a young team, hand in hand with Jared Mayo, getting a full offseason together, is going to be fun. And I'm just hope that they don't. Remember Mac Jones' first year? It was great, and then he fell off a cliff. Can't duplicate that. Can't duplicate that with this guy. So.
Well, didn't they lose their offensive coordinator and everything? That's when Mike McDonald went to the Raiders the next season after they drafted Mac Jones.
So he only got one season with McDaniels and Belichick, and then it was just Belichick.
And then it was just Belichick.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. It's weird. Mike McDaniels is complete ass everywhere he goes except for New England.
Right. Well, where he doesn't have to be the head coach, he just has to be a coordinator.
Yeah, and he's such a weird dude too. Like you hear the stories in Denver, and then the stories that came out of Vegas. It's like he's a weird, like unpleasant guy to work for. Like,
right.
Yeah.
You gotta be strict. You gotta follow his rules, or it's the highway for you.
Well, I mean, he chased off, and again, not that these guys are. I mean, they're professional NFL quarterbacks, but they were above average in Derek Carr and Jay Cutler, and both of them were like, "Fuck this guy,"
Yeah. Yeah. I would have done the same thing too. So, but hey,
they didn't get a choice.
Quarterback.
Yeah, they didn't get a fucking choice. Which is ridiculous. That you come into a situation where there were games that were being won. You had a foundation in place and some players. McDaniels absolutely fucking blew it up both times, and you see where it got him.
Are going to be on a rebuild again for a few years.
forever, for eternity.
We'll
Eternity.
I got faith that they'll turn it around. I think with Brady coming in and helping out with the ownership, I think it'll help out.
Unless he's going to go and fucking poison Mark Davis. No. Nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change.
I mean, I don't know. It has to change, right? There's not going to be another Detroit Lions in this league again. I don't think the NFL will allow it. You know, I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to point to the Lions, but they had that bad year after year after year after year.
Yeah, they have some bad decades there. The difference with that is with the stadium in Vegas and the spectacle that it is, and like they're still making tons of money. Like, yeah, the Raiders are. We all know the Raiders are never going to have home field advantage in that stadium, ever.
Right, ever.
But they're having the draft there. They're having, the college football playoffs and national championships there. They have Super Bowls there. So I think the Raiders being competitive is almost an afterthought to the higher ups at the NFL right now. And dude, I get Brady, as competitive as he is, he's got to have a plan in place. I just don't know if Mark Davis and the Davis family has never listened to anybody.
Right.
So why would they start? Why would they start now?
I mean, I just hope that I'm hoping he starts to listen because Brady's one smart. He's fucking the most winningest quarterback in NFL football championships ever, Super Bowls, whatever, MVPs, whatever he's got. You know, you got to listen to like that. If you're going to have a guy like that buy into your organization and you don't listen to him, then you're just the biggest fucking moron ever, and you really deserve what happens to your team.
Yeah, for sure. And let's not forget, he also bought into the Reno Aces, which Mark Davis also owns and stuff like that. So let's be honest, Brady, for all of the money he made as a quarterback, he was never the top paid quarterback in the league because he wanted the rest of that money to get spread around. Now he's made $1 billion from endorsements. So, he's got the money to, maybe this was more of a business decision. This way he gets to still be around the game, but not like have it be all consuming and like how it was and cost him a couple marriages and stuff like that. Right. So who knows? It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Raiders. I like Antonio Pierce, and I think if anything, Antonio Pierce, if he doesn't get another head coaching look, is 100% going to be a defensive coordinator somewhere.
Oh, 100%. I don't think he's not going to be coaching next year when they let him go.
No, he would definitely have a job for sure. I feel like at this point, though, the Raiders are finally going to be close to being done paying Gruden.
Maybe. I don't know. Wait, which one? No, I'm just kidding.
They have so many former head coaches that they're still got on the books. So.
Oh yeah. All right. So Colts Patriots. Who we got? Who do you got there? I'm thinking the Patriots. Honestly,
I'm going to go with the Pats. It's going to be a close one. What's the spread on this one?
2.5. See, I don't know if I think the Patriots win by a field goal, but that's still the points.
No, I agree.
I think they're within a field goal.
It's going to be like a last-second field goal is going to win the game. That's what I'm kind of visualizing here. So
you want the Patriots with the points?
I'm going with the Pats. Yeah.
All right, Titans, Commanders. Commanders only 5.5. I think that's a joke. I do. I think the Commanders
they've had a couple rough losses these last couple of weeks, like close last-minute ones. I get that Tennessee's going to be feeling themselves after going and beating up on Houston. But Washington, I think, is going to go and put up, 35, 40 points.
Oh, yeah. I think so, too. They're going to let their aggressions out from last week out on these Titans.
For sure.
Next up, we got Cardinals versus Vikings. I mean, I don't see the Cardinals winning this, but I do at the same time, being the underdogs,
How many? What's the points?
3.5.
I think the Vikings cover. Actually, hold on. Let me think about that. The Vikings look like shit the last couple of weeks.
Right. The Cardinals look good. Their defense looks solid, and every time the Vikings go against a team that can pass rush, it's close games. It's closer than you want.
Well, it is, and I think that Kyler Murray's athleticism here is going to be like a huge difference maker in the game. I'm picking Arizona. Actually, I'm going to go with Arizona.
Honestly, that's what I was thinking too. I was thinking Arizona covers at least.
Oh, you don't think the addition of Daniel Jones is really going to jumpstart this Vikings locker room?
Right. Hey, I still think Daniel Jones being a backup for them is better than who they have.
No, I disagree. I think Nick Mullins has been in this system for 2 or 3 years and has won games for them. And the knock on Nick Mullins is he throws too many interceptions. what's the one thing that Daniel Jones can do better than most quarterbacks? Is throw bad picks. So
I don't know. I think with actually wide receivers that can catch the ball, I think would be a difference maker. All he's had is Neighbors and Barkley to run the ball.
Right. So. Yeah, I get that. If I'm a Vikings fan, my worst nightmare is having to see Daniel Jones come on the field for anything besides
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah. If the Vikings lose their quarterback, they're done. I'm sorry. I don't think Daniel Jones can win playoff games.
Yeah, most teams are that way. Yeah. Like, look, Stetson Bennett isn't coming in, or Jimmy G coming in and leading the Rams to the playoffs, dude. Like, that's not happening if Matt Stafford gets hurt.
Jimmy G in the playoffs, I would trust Jimmy G to win a playoff game. One playoff game.
You're going to see a whole lot of Kyron Williams.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
But now that I'm thinking about it, that short pass game, that Jimmy G's strength is what the Rams run underneath with Nakua and Cooper Kupp. So
right. I could see, like I said, I could see Jimmy G coming out and winning some games if Stafford goes down. I really can.
Man, if I have to watch Jimmy G in a Rams uniform win a playoff game this year, like, okay.
You're going to go back to the bottle, are you?
Yeah.
Just don't go back to the bottle.
I think if there's anything that would allow me, and again, I say this with all the love in the world, like, that a man could possibly have for Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo helped the Niners turn around the fortunes of that franchise.
Right.
Forever respect that man. But like him in the playoffs in a Rams uniform, like winning a game, like I'd probably be cracking up. I'd be laughing my ass off the entire time. Like, hey, look at this.
Right.
I've got a friend. His name's Sean. He's a Falcons fan. He's one of my boys in Atlanta, and his hatred for Jimmy G runs as deep as the Confederate widows' hatred for the Northerners. And he and I have bet on games where Jimmy G has won me lunches and drinks. And one particular time, it was this was 2 or 3 years ago when they played in Green Bay during that some crazy fucking ice storm, and the Niners won on a last-second field goal. And the bet that we had was the loser had to spend the second half of a Friday in the office. This is before we didn't have. Please bleep out my company name. The company I worked for didn't have a work from home policy in the office at the time. Like COVID or not, you're all in the office 5 days a week. And so the last half of Friday, when the rest of the world was working from home, we were all in the office. And so the last half, he was going to have to wear a tutu. And he found me like the Tony Romo stand up to cancer, but it was like the pink ladies V-neck.
Right.
Yeah, the Tony Romo jersey. And so my friend Sean is 6'4", 330. He's a big boy.
Yeah.
So for one, trying to find a tutu that would fit him. Yeah, but I found one. We found one and we stretched it out, and then sure enough, made that happen. So I talk a lot of shit about corporate America, and now that I think about it, if HR would have come downstairs, people would have gotten in trouble for that because, well, that's not funny. That's, sexual harassment. No, dude, that's hilarious. That's what happens when you gamble with me. Funny. Right. That's what happens. Yeah, that's called gambling. It's if you didn't want to have to worry about that, you should have gambled with me. But he for sure would definitely. I'd probably have to FaceTime him and tell him make him watch the Jimmy G Rams playoff win with me. Be like, what you think about Jimmy G? What you think? What do you got?
Well, dude, let me know. I'll put some money on it too. Get some licks in.
I've been trying to loop him onto the podcast because he's a great shit talker.
That's what we want.
Yeah. I'll send you some of the clips from our text thread. It's probably the text thread that will get me fired from my job. If anyone ever reads it.
They look similar to ours.
It's so much worse, actually. So much worse. So much gayer. So much gayer.
And that's what happens. That's what happens when you fall in love with a 6-foot man, huh?
I like looking up.
Like to climb those legs.
What do we got next? Who's next, James?
The Buccaneers, Panthers. Buccaneers are favored by 6.
Yep. Bucks all the way.
I mean, I don't know. Wait, do you think the Panthers almost beat? No, that was the Chiefs. Never mind.
Yeah.
They almost covered against the Chiefs. That's what I mean. The Chiefs can't even cover the fucking Panthers. So
that's more of a Chiefs. I think this is more about the Chiefs than it does about Carolina. Carolina's been consistently right around there the whole season,
Right. Yeah.
And again, everyone gets up for the Chiefs. Everyone takes it to another level for the Chiefs.
It does, because they were Super Bowl champs.
Right.
Next up, Rams Saints. Rams are favored by 2.5. I'm taking the Rams, of course. And cover. The Rams win by at least a field goal.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. Is the game in LA or in New Orleans?
New Orleans.
I'm gonna go with the Saints. Again, you got 4 days of people partying before that game, and that place is gonna be raucous, dude.
So the Saints haven't played they had their bye week last week too.
Yeah.
So they've had rest and stuff. This is their third and I think final game. The Rams are coming back with the teams coming off the bye week. So, yeah. It always hurts. I think we'll save the Eagles Rams games for after the picks, and then we'll do the same thing with the Niners.
Sure.
Next up, we got Eagles Ravens. Ravens are favored by 3 points. Taking the Eagles. I don't see the Ravens. Same.
I'm gonna go with the Eagles. The Eagles are rolling right now. Like that offense is hitting on all cylinders, and that Ravens defense has been shown to be suspect, which is still strange. Like to say that about a Ravens defense.
Right. Well, it's the passing game this year. They can't stop anybody from throwing the ball over them.
Well, again, and it's true, and you're going up against a team that is probably the most balanced attack out there between Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Dallas Goedert, and then they're gonna run the ball now. Well, shit, that doesn't get any easier. So
yeah, right. And I think Devontae Smith must be back this game too against the Ravens.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's good. Yeah, it's gonna make it so much harder for them.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the 49ers versus the Bills. Who's out for the Niners in this game so far? Do you know? Do you see the latest injury report? I know it's only Wednesday. We're doing this on a Wednesday this year, guys.
Oh, yeah. So Purdy and Williams are both questionable. Okay. Bosa is doubtful.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that they've said so far. It doesn't matter. Niners aren't going to win this game, even with everybody. So I think Buffalo.
Well, I was wondering if they can cover at least. That was my thing. No. Okay.
No, and it's supposed to be like a blinding snowstorm. There's actually a possibility this game might get postponed. That's how much snow. That's how much snow Buffalo is expecting. It's going to be one of those.
So, are you taking the Bills with the points?
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills with the points.
Okay. Damn, that's always a tough pill to swallow.
Dude, I watch a lot of football, and the Niners. This ain't it. This is not how you. Does not look good. Yeah. This is not how you win games. It's not how you show up and try to be competitive. Yeah, I get everybody's hurt. I get that, but you've got to try to scheme up something a little bit better. And if you really want to get into it, Buffalo's a much better team than Green Bay, and you just gave up 28 points, making mental errors and turning the ball over to a team that you probably should have been more competitive with. Now you're going into hostile territory yet again in the middle of a snowstorm with the same group of backups out there. No. Does not bode well.
I totally understand. Last game, Browns Buccaneers. Browns Broncos. Broncos are favored by 5.5. I see this as an easy spread in Denver. I don't see the Browns showing up anything. That was a divisional game against the Steelers, and they got lucky. I think with that snowstorm that hit them, that unexpected snowstorm that hit them. So.
I believe in Jameis Winston. He is slowly I used to hate Jameis Winston, and with each passing year, I like him more and more. Like
grows on you, dude. He does, dude. I totally understand.
Yeah, for sure. So I am just for fun. Let's go, Jameis. Let's go. Let me see some more ridiculous shit.
All right, there we go. Save this real quick. Boom. All right. Real quick, so you want to talk some highlights of last week for the Rams-Niners game? For Rams, and then
I mean, there are no highlights to speak of. Like Brandon Allen threw 2 good passes. One was the touchdown to Kittle in the back of the end zone, and the other one went through Debo's hands, was an interception. Besides that,
you could talk about lowlights too, about what they need to improve.
Everything. They looked. I get that. I get that they were hurt, but the record amount of missed tackles unacceptable.
Welcome to the Rams universe.
Brandon Allen, while I get that this was his first bit of game action in like 3 years, every quarterback from high school on has that clock in their head. You need to get the ball out. You can't, especially as a backup when you know they're going to be bringing the heat, throw it away. Like taking sacks and having them turn into fumbles, fumbling a kickoff, just self-inflicted errors, just repeatedly. And this game at one point was about to be a 3-point game, and the Niners were finally starting to get it figured out, and they shot themselves in the foot, which has happened almost weekly this year. Yeah. So I don't know what the answer is on that. Going back to earlier conversations, are they hurt? Are they tired? I mean, I don't think Shanahan has lost the locker room, but I think these dudes are all realists. Like, this is a team with a group of guys who have played a lot of winning football going deep in the postseason. Everybody sees the writing on the wall. Like, this year just isn't it. And I think that's maybe why you're seeing a little bit of a lack of focus.
Okay. I mean, I probably only watched like parts of that game because I had everything else in the background. I was like, the Niners aren't this Niners Packers game. I tuned in the first quarter, then they kind of looked like shit. It was already like 10-0 or something like that. That's when I kind of tuned them out. But I saw, like you said, a lot of missed tackles and then a lot of drop balls, which was very uncharacteristic of the Niners, especially the missed tackles part. That's very uncharacteristic for the Niners defense the last few years. So that was like I said, welcome to the Rams world.
I will say there are two highlights here. There's the guy who replaced Nick Bosa, and there's the other guy that they were using on their defensive tackle rotation, trying to make up for the loss of Javon Hargrave. Both those guys had really good games. I will say that the Niners front four got a lot of rush on Jordan Love and made him uncomfortable, but their inability to stop the running game negated the pass rush and the sacks and stuff like that. And George Kittle moving into number 3 all time in receptions for the franchise. Looks like he's going to pass Terrell Owens at some point in the next year or so. No one's catching Jerry Rice, obviously, but George Kittle,
you can't catch a lesbian like that.
Right, exactly. So George Kittle also, dinged up out there, having a monster season. It really, really is. So those are two highlights I can speak of to that. Everything else, take that tape and throw it in the fucking garbage.
I'll talk on the Rams real quick then. I mean, I don't got much more pleasant things to say, especially after what happened. I mean, let's face it, they were into that game until the third quarter. The first half, they were throwing blows to the Eagles, and they were in that game. If they didn't drop that ball in the first possession, that game could have gone a totally different way. That was a huge blow. Kyron Williams needs to be held accountable and be on the hot seat. He's dropped 7 or 8 balls in the last handful of games. It's just getting ridiculous at this point. I can't trust him. I want to see more decorum in there. If that's what happens, you can't keep dropping the ball with Williams. You have to hold on to that shit. I don't give a fuck how small you are and how big everybody else is. Stop dropping the goddamn ball. Stick him or tackle him or whatever, fucking super glue on your hands. Hold on to that motherfucking ball. Dude, you can't trust this guy right now. I can't trust him personally. But McVay has faith in him, so gotta have faith in McVay. McVay I trust, right? Next up was Spites. Spites finally showed up why he was an undrafted rookie. Now, let's face it, he was going against the best running back in the league, and Barkley made him look like shit. So, he made him bite early and try to fill the holes, and then Barkley would cut out, and then Spites would be nowhere near him. And so I think Spites was just a little bit too over anxious to go fill those holes and hit him, but it cost him. It really did.
Well, James, let's be honest here. We've all been a little over anxious to go and start filling holes, and it got us into bad situations. So
that's very true. Very true. And then I've been hearing a lot of shit about Cardi, the Rams kicker. He's a rookie. What do you expect? I pulled up his stats. Let's see if I can't share this. And I took these straight from the NFL website and made them easier on my screen to read. He's 16'4", 21. But He's only missed one from the 30, inside the 30, missed one from inside the 40. So that's 2 from 40. And then he gets a little bit wobbly in the 50s, 40s, 50s. But I can't blame the kid. He's, like 21. It's better than these guys down here with only 27 for 31. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's a rookie kicker. I think the solution there is to score more points and don't need to count on your rookie kicker in close games.
I found this really interesting. No one's kicking the ball inside the 20 this year. Only a handful. There's only been 2 kick field goals. The Chargers and the Chiefs from inside the 20. I found that really interesting.
That is an interesting stat, actually.
Right? Cardi is at like 76% field goals made. So that's pretty bad. But like I said, he's a rookie. He's got to learn the NFL rules. It's a little bit different in the NFL than it is in the college game.
Yeah, for sure.
I can't blame the kid. I want him to learn, develop, give this kid some time, get out of his own head. I think an off season with the actual NFL program and NFL coaches, he's going to do a lot better. So
yeah, well, I agree. Again,
that's a kid's fine for 4 years. He can't go anywhere. Like we've had bad kickers come and go. This kicker could be good. Just don't let him go anywhere.
He hasn't done anything. I mean, to make it, even a consideration to bring in someone, to come into as a kicking competition. No, there's no reason for that right now. I think the Rams are bringing people to try out. There's, you would be looking at offensive line, defensive line, linebacker, stuff like that. To try to get some.
We got bigger holes to worry about than the field goal kicker, missing him from 40 and beyond.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, 40 and beyond's tough. I don't give a shit how many kicks were being made earlier in the year from 40 and beyond. 40 and beyond.
Even Justin Tucker is struggling this year.
Right.
Harrison Butker got hurt, so we don't have to hear about him every week right now. Which is kind of nice. But yeah, it's hard. It's kicking field goals in the NFL is really hard, especially when you get into the wintertime.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I mean that's my talking points for the Rams. Want to move on to some hockey real quick?
Yes.
Okay. The Sharks, man, 7-2 victory over the fucking Kings. I loved it. Macklin, 2 goals, do 1 no-looker. Oh yeah, let me look over here. I'm gonna pass it. Throws it right in the fucking right-hand corner of the fucking over the goalie's glove. Brilliant.
Pretty sweet. Pretty sweet.
And then my second, and what my favorite goal is, maybe because I've seen Ola Nolan do it a bunch of times growing up, is the slap shot one-timer. Just slide it all the way across the puck. Boom. Again, top right-hand corner. That right over his glove hand again. So, short side goal this time instead of long side.
Yeah, Celebrini has done, since he came back from that ankle injury that, happened, got aggravated, after opening night. He's been as advertised. Really. Right. He's out there. He's mixing it up. Just, again, the chemistry on the ice this year is so much visually better than it was last year with these guys. And I give all the credit to Wafosky and the rest of that coaching staff. Like, these guys are playing with a renewed sense of vigor. Like, they know that they got a special group there that can be something. And the fact that they all played, and a lot of them played, in the AHL together and have played on different club teams and stuff like that. It's just, they've got that same vibe and the same mindset, and it's fun to watch. And watching Celebrini play like the number 1 pick, and really,
awesome to watch.
And really, I think put the rest of the hockey world on notice is fucking awesome.
I'm going to look tonight's game against the Senators. That's who they play tonight, 7 o'clock my time. I don't know what your time. I don't know if you'll be able to catch it.
That'll be 9 o'clock. I'm not working tomorrow, so yeah.
And then, so I think Worski was right about Arskov sending him back down. That our other goalie, Askarov, is better. He looks good in the net. He gave up that ugly goal against the Blues where he'd do it right to the other team. But other than that, he just needs to develop his speed and stuff like that. And I think he's going to start developing. And that's the only way to do that is to actually play games. And he can't do that behind Blackwood, where he's going to take the majority of the.
You're right. And the fact that the Sharks affiliate is right down the road is so much easier for Nabby to get over there and work with him and work with Blackwood and keep everybody on the same sort of like training path and everything that they're doing from there. He's definitely the guy of the future. At the same time, like most NHL teams run a goalie tandem, having Blackwood and Askarov, you could do not bad at all. You could do a whole lot worse, in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
especially as the talent in front of them gets better and better.
Right.
it's just
And
been
then
it's been a good week for it to be a Sharks fan. Like all the Joe Thornton stuff was really like just really cool,
I wish
man.
we
You
would
know,
win
just
that game, but yeah.
yeah, it was. But I mean, just all of the stuff that was coming on social media and all the former players sharing stories and all the jumbo highlights. And then, you know, you
Right.
see the young dudes out there like playing and mixing it up. Like it's a good week to be a Sharks fan. It reminds me of the glory days back when they were. And
It's
to
tough.
just to feel like we're starting to get back on that path again is fun
Right.
and
We're
exciting.
definitely back on that path of being a good team. We're still
Yeah.
a good team. The thing is, we're losing teams that we're supposed to lose to, but beating the shitty teams.
Right.
Like the
And that's the first step. And all I want to do is be a team that ends someone's season, you know, like in
That's
like
what I'm
April,
hoping for.
in March
Yeah,
or April, like be that team that, oh man, we got to win. If we lose any more games, we're out. Cool. San Jose end people's seasons. You know,
right.
those are the games that matter. Those are the high intensity playoff energy games. You know, that's what
exactly.
I want. Yeah.
I think the first. I mean, they're not technically out of it. I want to say.
It's way too. Come on, dude. There's so much hockey left to even try to look at.
Well, last time I looked at the standings, they're like 7-9.
Look right now.
Yeah, 7, 12, and 5.
Okay.
And they're 19 points, but the Knights have 30 points. You know, the Jets have 36. So they're kind of out of it, but
they've also played more games than everyone else in the West.
have they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're 24 games. That's bad though. Playing more games and then having less points is bad.
Right, but I'm saying at some point they're going to be able to get a couple games to rest and get stuff to come back.
Right. That's going to be good down the stretch. Having a lighter schedule at the end is always kind of a good thing in my opinion, especially as the hits pick up and everything. But we'll see. Like I said, just one game at a time. Next we play the Senators, and we'll see how they do from there.
I mean, look, they're only 5 points out of a wild card spot.
Right. You know, and that can be done in a few games in hockey.
Right, exactly.
Depending on who you're playing. Want to talk about basketball at all, or do you have anything from basketball this year?
I don't really have any basketball highlights. The Warriors are still playing incredibly well.
Right.
Did see that Curry was being held out tonight for like a little knee soreness, but doesn't sound like anything to worry about. But no, I don't have anything basketball wise. We do have an MLB update here. Blake Snell, he opted out of his deal with the Giants, signed a 5-year, $182 million deal with the LA Dodgers. $52 million signing bonus. Some of the money was deferred, not all of it. No opt-outs, actually, in this deal. So he will be there for the duration of 5 years unless he gets traded. I would assume also with a deal that size, probably, if not a full no-trade clause, probably a list of teams there, Sacramento, that he doesn't want to go play for. So Giants striking, the Dodgers striking early, getting an arm to bolster the rotation where they have a lot of guys coming off injuries, and they're also still in the they're in the running and kind of at the lead of the pack right now for Yoshinobu, the Japanese pitcher that's about to get posted.
Right.
You hurt your division rival by doing this too. Not that Blake Snell had a huge year. I mean, he threw a no-no for the Giants, but the Giants have just they're not good. They're not good. I do like Buster Posey being the VP of player personnel. I think that will help them. It'll help them attract talent.
And I think they start to rebuild with him there too. So it might be a different Giants team coming off, the next few years.
I really couldn't tell you anybody currently on the Giants roster, but I'm also in the process of divorcing baseball. Speaking of though, Brandon Crawford officially announced his retirement from baseball today. Two-time World Series champion with the Giants. Won a handful of Gold Gloves. Ladies liked him because he had long hair. Dude played the game the right way. Again, fuck the Giants, but happy trails, Brandon Crawford. Go enjoy your retirement, dude. Go get it.
Yeah, dude. That guy had some phenomenal games, and I remember watching him a few times, watching him mess up people's games with that Golden Glove.
Yep.
He deserved it. He was a great player. So yeah, enjoy his retirement. So with Thanksgiving around the corner, what are you doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow I am doing a whole bunch of nothing. Actually, I'm going to make some food. I was telling a friend about this earlier. Years ago, I dated this girl who made a homemade mac and cheese that was just like, it was the star of every cookout. It was the star of every party.
Right.
And watching her make it as much as I did, I kind of just figured out the recipe. Because my social media algorithm is so off the wall, it's like cartel shootings and chefs, you know?
No, I totally understand.
So I've taken her recipe and kind of bastardized it into stuff I've seen online with people making mac and cheeses. And so I'm making a mac and cheese. I'm doing bacon garlic mashed potatoes. I'm doing some jalapeno cheddar cornbread, which I learned from my neighbors in the South, how to make actual real cornbread. It's good stuff. My favorite part of Thanksgiving is pumpkin pie. And I will sit there and I will eat an entire pumpkin pie by myself to my face.
You make any turkey?
That, and I got a ribeye. I'm gonna cook. There's no point. It's like it's just me and the dog. So not no point to cook an entire bird. That's a lot more turkey than I'm really gonna know what to do with. So
last year when I did it, because I just wanted to make turkey, I just had turkey for like a week straight. Dude, I cut that thing up, ripped it off the bone right then and there after I was done cooking it. Set off what I wanted for the tonight, and then just went to town on that thing on the, was for the whole week. I'm a huge turkey fan. Like, if you don't have turkey in your Thanksgiving, it's fucking blasphemy, in my opinion. But that's just my opinion, right?
James, me not having turkey on Thanksgiving doesn't even crack the top 15 of blasphemous things I've done in my life. So let's
Thanksgiving.
Let's keep shit in perspective here, dude. I've got everything else. I got gravy. I've got I've got the canned cranberry. Because I'm a can guy. I'm a cranberry.
I fuck that homemade shit, dude. I want that shit to come out looking like a dog food can.
Right, yeah. Because I want to see the ridges in it. Yeah. I got that. I got some Hawaiian stuffing. I'm gonna make, which is gonna be good. Nice. I've got all the fixins except for I'm just not doing a bird.
Like that's just my opinion on Thanksgiving. Plus, you're like you said, you're by yourself, so I understand not wanting to do a whole turkey. Right, but the family event, if the whole family's there, you gotta do.
If I had one other if I was dating somebody who was coming for Thanksgiving, I'd make a bird, but it's just me. So I got me a nice big thick ribeye. I'm actually looking forward to that, and I'm gonna do it I'm not gonna do it the quick way where I just sear it up and then just devour it because I'm a caveman. I'm gonna do it in the rosemary and garlic butter bath at the end and make sure it sits the right amount of time and all that stuff.
Make it look beautiful for your Instagram poses and shit.
No, I think unless something crazy. Actually, do I? No, I don't. I don't post food on Instagram for some reason. Like, it's just not my thing.
I was making fun of it.
My posts are generally, ooh, that's a pretty sunset, or hey, I got more tattoos. Check these out.
Right. Well, I gotta go to my mom's this Thanksgiving, but we're gonna have California Thanksgiving, so we're gonna be sitting outdoors because it's gonna be like 60 degrees.
Beautiful.
Friday, I gotta go up to my dad's. Again, we'll probably be sitting outdoors again. I was afraid we weren't going to be able to have a California Thanksgiving to have to sit inside. I was with all this rain that we got, especially in the north with the bomb cyclones and everything.
Yeah.
Damn, dude, that's going to ruin our Thanksgiving.'re actually going to have to sit inside and have Thanksgiving. But
dude, I saw who was it? Knocked Loose. They were on Jimmy Kimmel last night. And they got nominated for a Grammy again, which cracks me up that a hardcore band from Kentucky, has their second Grammy nomination, and they're playing on Jimmy Kimmel, and it's heavy stuff. And I watched it, and you could see just sideways rain sheeting in front of the crowd, and I was like, damn, the weather's wild out in California right now. So
yeah, the weather. Northern California.
Huh?
It was all in Northern California and Oregon and Washington.
Apparently,
down here where I was, it barely rained. Rained.
Apparently, there was some good rain in LA last night. So
yeah, but it wasn't too bad. It was the normal winter LA rain. You know how it is in LA. When it rains once a year, but it fucking it just dumps.
Destroys everything.
It's like a hurricane, dude. It's nuts. So that's the thing. People's like, oh, it's raining in California. People don't know how to drive. It's because it's a little bit different. It just dumps in LA. It doesn't just sprinkle. It's just oh, let me shard out everything I got for you for an hour straight, and then it'll sprinkle.
Yeah. So. For sure. I remember the first rain. It was always well, it's going to take me an extra half hour to get home today because everyone's retarded.
So. Right. That was in the Bay Area, though.
I have a great Thanksgiving story, which I can't tell. I don't think I've shared it on the pod, and I don't know if I've told you this before. It was the year of the bear. So my dad's brother and wife lived up in Lake Tahoe, and they had a house up on the hill, looked out at the lake. It was really nice, and they had always hosted Thanksgiving from when I was a kid up until very, very recently. Thanksgiving was what they did, and my aunt was a great host. Would always cook up a feast. Everybody would get together. Everybody was welcome. Hey, you got some friends who don't got a place to go. Bullshit. They're coming here and eating with us.
Right.
So we have Thanksgiving. There's like 20 some odd people there, probably. My cousin had married a gentleman from Texas named Larry. Larry from Texas. Nice dude. Couldn't understand half of what he fucking said, but whatever. Nice enough guy.
Right.
So we're done with the meal, cleaning, putting up leftovers, kind of putting the kitchen back together. And he goes up to the garage to get something. The garage is right off the kitchen. Comes right back and he's like, "There's a bear! There's a bear there!" We're like, "What the fuck? What are you talking about?" So the garage door had been rolled up, and a bear had walked into the garage, opened up the fridge out there, and had like a trifle bowl, and was eating it. It was sitting on the hood of the car, like in front of the fridge in the garage. And so Larry and the bear, I guess, scared the shit out of each other. Larry started yelling. The bear dropped the bowl and ran off. Because really most animals are skittish like that.
Right.
But he came in and he was like, "Oh, there's a bear! There's a bear out there!" And we're like, "Huh? Like English, motherfucker? Like, do you speak it? What's going on?"
Great,
and so we went out there, and sure enough, there's like a broken trifle bowl and some bear prints and a bear ass cheek, like a mark on the dirt and the snow and the dust on the hood of the car. And we're like, "Oh fuck!" Like that's kind of scary actually, because like kids are outside playing and stuff, like
Right.
And I'm pretty sure that household did not have a firearm. They're the good Hickses, not my side of the family. But I always remember that, and I didn't see.
His last name is Hick. He's not talking about calling him a redneck Hick.
My last name is slang for white trash. So
yeah.
For those of you who want to do a further dive and find me on all the various social medias, again, I also look like this. I'm pretty easy to find.
Right.
And I hadn't seen Larry in years, and I saw him was it last summer? 2 summers ago? I don't remember. Saw him the last couple of years, and it had been probably like 10, 15 years since I had seen him. And we were talking about that, and the bear story definitely came up, and he was like, yeah, I'll remember. Scared
the fuck. Yeah, I'm scared piss off me too. Fuck a big old bear fucking sitting there in my garage, right outside my garage. Oh, fuck this shit, dude. I'm back the fuck up.
You walk out like, you've been drinking, watching football all day. You've got the trypanosis going on from all the turkey you just consumed. Come around a corner and just like, is that a fucking bear?
Big old fucking black bear sitting on your fucking hood.
I'm assuming it was a black bear. It was in Lake Tahoe. I don't remember what exactly they have out there. But
right.
But yeah, it was funny. And so that story came up. But I will say this about Larry is when you live in Texas, don't act like Texas is a better place when you can't keep your fucking power on either. Oh, California's got rolling blackouts. Whether it's hot or cold, the power goes out in Texas, motherfucker. So, but he's a native Texan. He's very proud of it. I get it, as you can see, by right there. Yeah. Like I rep for my shit. So, but that's always been a funny Thanksgiving story that I think of every year around this time. And that being said, I'm gonna get philosophical here for a minute. This year, for a lot of people, for whatever reason, seemed like it might have been a little rougher than usual. Maybe it was an election year. Maybe it was because, I don't know, the constant strife and chaos that we are subjected to through media every day in and day out. But I do think that the holidays, the end of the year and birthdays for me, I think are good times to sit back and reflect a little bit and take stock of where you are, how things are going. And I know it's hard. Everything's too goddamn expensive. People suck. People are rude. People are vengeful. Manners have gone away and things like that. All that being said, I do think that we all have at least 1 or 2 things to be grateful for this time of year. And I think it's a good opportunity to not get caught up in the consumerism of the holidays, but like power down, man. It's the end of the year. Like, our bodies are designed to sleep and hibernate during this time of year because that's why it gets dark early. We're not meant to be still working our normal schedules and fighting against our natural like body circadian rhythms and stuff like that. So take this time of year to
I have ADHD. I don't sleep.
right. Right. For those of us whose brain, well, actually, my brain isn't wired. My brain's wired differently than James. It's not wired correctly. That's for fucking sure. No, but for everybody, like that, take a moment. Like call your people, check in, eat some food, take a nap. Maybe take a day off from the gym. Enjoy some of these days off that we have here. Don't get caught up in thinking that you've got to have the perfect holidays and got to have the perfect tree and the perfect gifts. Right. You've got to do this and why? Because I've got to share it on social media for all these. No, put all that away. You don't.
All about
you don't
doing with friends and family, enjoying the moment,
and taking care of yourself. Taking care of yourself. If your social battery is drained, don't go and push it too hard. Right. And I think that's something to be thankful for this year. Like I know that I do a whole lot of bitching on this podcast. And
that's why we created it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, you're fired. Fuck off. But the other side of that coin is that I am aware of like how lucky I am to be in the position I am in life and to have gotten to do the things I've gotten to do and to be able to plan to do the things I want to do in the future in terms of traveling and adventures and, just music and art and being creative and doing stuff like that. So I know that I am thankful for what I do have this year. And I think anybody out there that's listened to this, do the same, try to be thankful for something, even if it's just one thing. Hey, look, if you're a Lions fan, be thankful for this year because I don't know if we're going to have another Super Bowl next year during the fucking Great War. So, enjoy it this year. Get that fucking W.
All right. I'm just thankful that, this time of year, like you said, I do the same thing. I take a second to reflect, see where I'm going, see where my path is, kind of start dictating a plan for next year. I do it now. I don't create goals or anything that's New Year's, but I do dictate a path I want to be at myself next year, right? And I already start those goals. I already start this month, I started stretching every morning. I woke up 5 minutes early, just stretch, take a couple minutes for meditation or whatever and stretch. And I want to try to continue that all the way through next year as I start trying to build a better self for myself. And I'm thankful for those opportunities. We live in a spot, I know Zach here and we both joke about our political climate, but we should be thankful for where we live at because we are the number one nation, in terms of wealth and being able to live the lifestyle that we do compared to a lot, even across Europe. People aren't as well off as advantaged as you are in America. Even if you're the poorest guy here, you still got a little bit better off than other countries. Not everybody, and every situation is different, but still, we're here for a reason. We're here to help each other. Don't start hating on people just because their political affiliation. You're here for family time. You're here to be with loved ones. I know your Uncle Larry from Texas is going to be all Texas this, and you're going to be all California that. But remember, you're still family, even if you're married into the family. You're here to be loved and hang out with people and support each other. That's what these times of the year are about. Someone's, especially in your family, someone's down, help them out if you can. I know we all got those black sheep that don't want help. You got to give them their space. Give them their space, but try to help them out if they can. Everybody's got their limits. So I totally get that. But try to mend fences and try to hang out with each other for the holidays. Be thankful that you have family to hang out with. Some people don't got anybody to go home to this year. That's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah,
I get to go. I know I bitch about the driving I have to do because I have to go all the way up to Northern California from where I'm at. Both times I probably drive close to 20 hours in these next 2 days. Just trying to be with family, but I'm thankful for that opportunity. Yeah, I could probably cut down if I want to sleep there, but I like sleeping in my own bed. I'm thankful for that. So, and my family allows me to do that. So, be thankful you got family to go to. I'm very thankful about that. I get to go see my mom, my dad, my nephews, my uncles, my aunts. Not all of them, but my cousins too. So, here we go. That's Thanksgiving for us. Any other questions, concerns, comments you want to leave for our guest?
It was just pointed out to me that Daniel Jones already has experience throwing passes to Vikings players because his first pass of the year was picked off for a pick six by Andrew Van Ginkel, the Vikings linebacker. I open up my phone to look at something else, and the Vikings thread. And again, why am I on a Vikings thread? Like, I guess I talk a lot of shit. Hey guys, I hope you're at least watching this fucking podcast. Then if you're gonna loop me in on your, because I will give my opinion on Viking personnel moves. You're not gonna like any of them.
It's the algorithm. It's your location algorithm. You're in Minnesota. Where I'm at, I get Niners shit thrown in my thread all the time, even though
No, this is a text thread from work.
Yeah. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, it's one of those threads. Yeah, it's one of those. Yeah,
that's fucking great. That's fucking awesome. You gotta love that kind of shit.
Yeah, no, it was great. I was like, oh, he does have experience. Look at this.
But yeah, anything else for our guests before we leave?
Nah, man, that's all I got.
All right, everybody. Like, share, comment, follow. Send us your stories, comments, whatever. Yeah, I'm getting Merry Thanksgiving, everybody. And
Thanks, everyone.
have a good night. See you guys next week.
See you guys.